If you're looking to increase sales by 30% over the next 30 days, you really have two options. There is the old way of doing this where you can double down on outbound, hire more SDRs, hire more salespeople, and just try to win more deals. Or there's the new way. The new way is where the deals are coming to you. They're coming inbound. Leads are flowing in, pipeline is getting filled, and your salespeople are focusing on what they do best, actually closing deals. Now, here's a big question. How do you make this shift? And if this shift works so well, why isn't every sales leader, CEO, and marketer doing this in B2B? So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 4 steps that you absolutely need to know on how to make this shift to this new way of building pipeline. And when you implement these 4 steps, you are gonna be able to increase your sales by 30%, and I'll show you why mathematically, and do this over the next 30 days. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm TK, the managing director here at TK Capital. I own and operate a portfolio of AI, SaaS, and advisory companies. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your B2B business faster based on everything that we're implementing and we're learning. So if you're new, be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with what they call the TK energy. And if you're already part of this community, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. 15 years ago, I started the sales engagement category with a few other incredible people. My last company, Kader, which pioneered the sales engagement category, this sales outbound category, which is now a $5 billion category, was backed by the likes of Andreessen Horowitz, Jackson Square Ventures, and Founder Collective. We amassed about 100,000 salespeople on the platform. And back then, it made a ton of sense. Salespeople needed tools to find prospects, to reach out to those prospects, and do it over and over and over at scale with the 7 touches that were required to actually turn those prospects, a name and an email and a phone number, to a real meeting, and then run through the sales process. But back then, the response rates were way higher. But clearly that strategy worked really well, because fast forward to today, every single company is doing outbound. Every single company has a sales engagement tool. Every single company is buying the same lead lists from the same companies. And every single company is using AI to send the same type of personalized emails, and the numbers show it. Today, you're seeing about a 1% response rate when you do outbound. On top of that, and this is the most important one, when you actually get an outbound deal coming to you, your salesperson gets on an actual outbound meeting, you get, if you look at the win rate, you get about a 20% win rate. That's what we've seen across our portfolio companies and all the companies that we advise through our advisory company. So you get about a 20% win rate. However, now there's a way better way to actually get the deals to come to you. And I'm going to explain to you the mechanics, but this is the most important point you want to know mathematically. When you get a deal to come to you, and maybe you've had some deals, maybe they came in through a referral, or they came in through the website, maybe they came in through an ad, but kind of booked it a little bit later in the buying process. When you get inbound deals, when it's an inbound process, you get about a 50% win rate. So on one hand, you have a 20% win rate because you went to them and you're trying to win a deal. On the other hand, when they come to you, you get a 50% win rate. This is why if you ever hire salespeople that worked at Salesforce or at IBM, they had a 50% win rate. And when you put them into your B2B company, they didn't have any win rate because they just don't know how to win deals when they're not coming to them, when they don't have the brand. And today, it's possible more than ever before actually get more inbound flowing. So when you shift from the outbound model where you have a 1% response rate, you only have a 20% win rate, to an inbound model where you have a 50% win rate, you can really increase your sales just by doing that by 30%. And you can do it in the next 30 days when you follow the 4 steps that I'm going to walk you through. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dig right into it. Now, I did buy this giant yardstick, so I'm going to draw a little line over here to delineate why the outbound works and why the inbound works. And then I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps that exist. Here's what basically is going on as you're trying to turn a stranger to a buyer. There are 3 key things that need to happen. The first thing that need to happen is your ideal customers need to know about you. Then they have to actually like you. Then they have to trust you. And then finally, they are going to buy from you, or at least get into the sales process. They will go into the buying, let's just put buying process. And then finally, you actually win a deal. Okay, so those are all the things that need to happen. Now, I'm gonna walk you through what happens when you're doing this outbound, and then what happens when you're doing inbound, and I'm gonna walk you through the 4 steps to follow so that you can get more inbound leads in the next 30 days, inbound deals coming in. In order to for them to get to know you, basically what you're doing, and we know this playbook really well, is you are going to purchase lists, and then you're going to email them, and you're going to call them. And what we just talked about is that has about a 1% response rate. And then they have to look at your email. And if you're using just one of the AI SDRs or an AI tool to write those emails, even though they're personalized, they have to look at it and they have to like you. And then on top of that, they're gonna go click on the link and check out your website, if they even look at it, and they have to trust you. And then finally, they come into the buying process. And then they're gonna basically ask you, who are you guys and what do you guys do? You know these calls, right? Where they literally don't know anything about you, why you are different from your competitors. They know nothing. So basically what you're going to do is have a series of meetings, meeting number 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10 plus meetings, depending on if you're small business or enterprise or how big your deal sizes are, to basically answer the trust question and the like question across each of these stages. So basically what's happening is this whole period of building know, like, and trust is not only happening through a 1% response rate and multiple meetings. Your salespeople are doing it. Your salespeople are sitting there one at a time, trying to meet with these people, get them to like you, get them to trust you, and then getting into a real buying process. By the way, if this is sounding familiar, this is literally the bane of the existence of every single revenue leader today that has to hit a number, that is trying to compress sales cycles. They're trying to increase their win rates. If this sounds familiar, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. But more importantly, go ahead and comment below. The like button is the love language of the YouTube algorithm. The comments are my love language. So I love hearing from you. Tell me if this is your reality. Tell me if you're dealing with this. We can commiserate together because I have been there. That's why I can intimately describe it. I have dealt with it in my companies. Now the question becomes, well, what does the new model look like? Instead of doing outbound, I already sold my company, so I have no skin in the game in the sales engagement category, and it's dying anyway because of these 1% response rates, and the AI SDRs are destroying whatever was left on those channels. This new way is what I'm banking on. So I'm gonna walk you through how the new way works, and I'm gonna then walk you through the 4 steps to actually implement it. So here's basically the fundamental shift that happens between what's happening on outbound versus inbound. The first thing you're doing is you're doing this phase where you're trying to build know, like, and trust. And you're trying to say, hey, that's not the job of my salespeople. My sales development reps, my salespeople, it's not their job to go figure out how to get my ideal customers to know about me because it has a 1% response rate. It's also not my job to get them to like me and get them to build trust. That should happen even before I get on a sales call with them. By the time they're booking a sales call with me and my team, they should know about us. They should like us. We should have provided some value, and there should be some trust there. Therefore, the first meeting, and I'm going to put this in blue, the first meeting with my reps are really about, okay, cool. Let's talk about what your objections are. Let's talk about what questions you have. Let's talk about what we haven't addressed yet about our competitors, and let me guide you through this process. That is the fundamental shift. That is the conversation every single great sales leader is having inside of a B2B company with their marketing counterpart, their CEO, and the executive team. And that's what every single marketer that's part of this movement is having inside of their companies as well. That's the fundamental shift. So then the question becomes, how do we get them to know us, like us, and trust us? This is where the fundamental shift really hits the road. This is where each of these pieces start to come together. What you have to start thinking about is this buying process right over here is one-to-one. This is when you're actually meeting with people. This process where you're trying to get them to know about you, like you, and trust you should be one-to-many. And it shouldn't be where you're emailing them one-to-one, even if it's done automatically. It should be one-to-many. It should be where you're interacting with them, but it's not one-to-one, where you're spending so much time just to figure out how to craft one email because it's dead. It's not even gonna hit their inbox. And even if it does, it's gonna be alongside 5 other of your competitors, which you show up looking like a chump. Okay, so let's break this down then. How do you break this down? Into actual steps so that you are building the know, like, and trust one-to-many, and you are getting people to book meetings with you one-to-one, and you're focusing on the actual buying process, where really what sales is for is to bridge the gap between, hey, I understand what you guys do, but I've got questions, or I'm skeptical about something, or I'm looking at a competitor, which are all objections. That's what sales really is. Okay, so let's break down the actual steps to make this work. I'm gonna use red over here. Step number one in this one-to-many, where you can get people to know you, like you, and trust you, is you get together with your team and you create what I call a lead magnet. This can be a one-page PDF. This can be a little document. As you get more advanced, it could be your manifesto. But it basically is some sort of piece of content that educates your buyer on what problem you solve, so that they know and understand what problem you solve, and why you're uniquely equipped at solving it, and why they should trust you. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can have one testimonial. It can have a title which shows them some sort of an outcome. This is stuff you're already doing one-to-one in your sales process anyway. It's probably the first few slides of your sales deck if you have one. That should be your lead magnet. It should be a PDF. And that should have a catchy name. So for example, we practice this. I practice everything that I preach on this channel for all of my companies. So we call this whole shift, this was what we call sales engagement, where you're trying to engage with your market. It used to work really well, multi-billion-dollar category, but now 1% response rate. It's dead. This new way of doing it, I'm gonna show you exactly how we mobilize this. We call this demand acquisition. That's our movement. That's literally what we do. So if you wanna learn how to do demand acquisition, and I'm gonna walk you through the steps, I'm gonna show you exactly how this works. We created a guide called the 5-Point Demand Acquisition Strategy Guide. Super simple. If you wanna grab a copy, it'll actually go in depth into this whole movement. It'll explain these 4 steps, and it'll give you the tools necessary to actually implement it. So if you wanna grab a copy, just go to useinstant.com and you can grab the guide. And I'll also link to it in the description below. You don't have to go anywhere right now. You see what I did? That's my lead magnet, and you can do one too. I've done enough of these one-on-one calls where I know what questions you have. I know what I'm trying to teach you in terms of the transformation. I know how my platform can help you solve it. So I've put together a guide, and you can too. So just go to useinstant.com and you can grab the demand acquisition strategy guide. That's a lead magnet. Now, step number two, you have that guide. You should have a landing page around it. Second thing you want to do is you want to put it on your homepage. So when you go to our homepage, useinstant.com, you'll see it right there at the bottom of the page. That guide is there. Here's the thing. Here's why this is so powerful. Did you know, and I think you know this, only 10% of people that land on your homepage book a call or start a trial. That's normal. That's an industry standard, which means that 90% of people are just leaving, which means that if you embed your lead magnet, I'm gonna keep putting this in red, you wanna embed in homepage. We do this. A solid number of people are gonna say, you know what? I'm not ready to book a call. I like these guys. I know about these guys. I kind of like these guys. I don't trust these guys yet to book a call. I'll download the lead magnet. Here's my email. And you'll start to get leads right away. That's the second piece. So this is already gonna get people knowing you and liking you because they're consuming your content, they're looking at your lead magnet, they're seeing your case studies, they're seeing the difference, they're looking at your messaging and your positioning, they're saying, okay, I understand what these guys do. Awesome. And maybe they'll book a call. The third thing you wanna do is you wanna take every single one of your sales reps, every single one of your SDRs, your executive team, your founder, yourself, everyone involved, your marketers, and you should post on LinkedIn. Do not post on LinkedIn trying to be a peacock. Don't post a weird selfie, none of that. Talk about the problem you solve for the customers you solve it for and link to your lead magnet. That's it. And what that does is more people in your ICP are gonna know you, they're gonna like you, and you're gonna start building trust. One to many. You see the difference here? So you're gonna create the lead magnet, you're gonna embed it in your homepage, leads. Boom. You're gonna post on LinkedIn, link to the lead magnet on a landing page so you capture their email. Boom, inbound leads. And the fourth step you're going to do is then you're gonna do outbound email to leads. You're gonna take your lead list, you're gonna say, hey, you grabbed a copy of our demand acquisition strategy guide. What did you think? What's going on in your world that's got you thinking about ditching outbound and switching to inbound? Actually acquiring demand. What's got you thinking about increasing your sales? Let's have a conversation. By the way, we have an entire platform that implements all this for you. Are you interested? And you can do that too. So the fourth step is now you do outbound, but you'll notice the message is different. You're not trying to cobble together like, hey man, can we get on a call or give you a free Apple Watch? By the way, I get those ads all the time. You're saying, hey, listen, you grabbed a copy of our guide. This means that you're struggling with this problem, or you're thinking about it, or you have thought about it, or you're discussing it. How can I help? How can I send you more resources? Do you want to get on a call? Do you want to do a free trial of the product? You can do any number of those things depending on your sales model, but it shifts everything. Because by the time with these outbound emails, they come to you and you're finally doing one-to-one, you have this 50% win rate. Why? Because by the time they come to you, they know you, they like you, and they trust you. And therefore, you are more likely to win the deal. You're more likely to actually sell them more, and they're more likely to buy more from you. And that's how all of this comes together. So let's recap. Number one, the old way of scaling sales and marketing and your company was to sales outbound. I know this because I'm one of the inventors of the sales engagement category. Sales engagement is dead. You get a 20% win rate, and today, every single person is on the same platform, buying the same leads, and emailing the same people using the same AI. Therefore, the response rate is 1%. And on top of that, by the time you do get a meeting, you're actually meeting with them to get them to know you, get them to like you, get them to trust you, and then maybe getting into a buying process. It is a losing game. The new way is demand acquisition. Demand acquisition is where you create a lead magnet, you embed it on your homepage. So anyone coming already that you're losing, you get them as a lead, and then you can start to nurture them and engage with them. And you post on LinkedIn talking about the problems you solve, linking to the lead magnet. And again, you get inbound leads. And then step number 4, then you email them and say, hey, you grabbed a copy of our lead magnet. It means that there's something going on in your world that is related to the problems we solve. Can we have a conversation? Do you want to start a trial? Who else is involved? Who else can I send this to? Any one of those things. And now you're getting into one-on-one, the actual buying process. But by that time, they're starting to know you, like you, and trust you. And that's the fundamental shift. So if you want to increase your sales by 30%, shift from a 20% win rate to a 50% win rate. If you want to do it in the next 30 days, build your lead magnet, embed it in your homepage so you can start capturing the people that already start to know you but aren't activating. Then post on LinkedIn so you know more people know you, like you, trust you, and then start following up with those leads to book meetings and start winning more deals. Now, if you want to implement all of this, just grab a free copy of our 5-point demand acquisition strategy guide. It's completely free. Some of our best content tells you exactly how to break down this strategy. You can share it with your team members and rally around it. Just go to useinstant.com. Useinstant.com. Over there, you'll see the entire Instant platform. It's a demand acquisition platform that helps you launch your lead magnet, embed it on your homepage, and post on LinkedIn in under 10 minutes. But you'll also see the guide. You just scroll down and you'll see the guide. You can grab a copy of the guide. And then if you like what you see, you can kick off the platform right away and just see what your lead magnet would be. It'll read your homepage, it'll build your lead magnet, and then you can embed it all under 10 minutes, start generating leads. It'll even write the emails for you to follow up with the leads. And it'll send you an email every single day with daily content so you can post it on LinkedIn. The entire end-to-end engine, the demand acquisition engine, comes online in minutes for you. So go to useinstant.com and let's transform your sales strategy. So you can increase your win rate by 30%, you can increase your sales by 30%, and you can do it in the next 30 days. Super simple, useinstant.com. Now, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. I also drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on actually doing this stuff, implementing this stuff for my own companies and for my customers and clients. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. You get notified every single time I drop an episode. If you got value from this episode, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm's love language is the like button, so make sure you smash it. My love language is the comments. So if you got an aha moment, if you're excited about demand acquisition, if you're starting to see, man, I just really don't want to hire more outbound people, don't want to hire more salespeople, I want the deals coming to me, I want to scale my know, like, and trust, then put it in the comments. I want to hear from you. If you want to implement all of this, go to useinstant.com. You can grab a copy of the guide. You can actually try out Instant. Just plug in your website, it'll build out the lead magnet for you and you can launch the whole thing. And you can actually transform your sales and marketing engine. It's super powerful. Also, if you have a fellow founder, peer, marketer, sales leader who will get value from this video, please share this with them. That's why we create these videos. We put a lot of love into them. We want to serve as many people in the revenue community as possible. So please share this video with them. If you're part of a Slack group, a WhatsApp group of other revenue leaders, please share this video with them as well. And lastly, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. Also, if you want to see how this new marketing strategy, demand acquisition, can actually make selling easier, then check out this video. In this video, I cover how you can actually use demand acquisition to make the entire sales process way easier, because you can run this at scale. It doesn't even have to be for a 30-day period. The more of this that you do, more of these steps that you do can actually be scaled under marketing. So check out that video as well. Take care, everybody.